What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube Design Chris Hop and CPR Hoff 1? And today I'm going to be kind of going step by step on what it's like being an emergency road service agent at working at Geico. On the screen, you do see Minecraft playing. I decided to put in. I don't know how long this video is actually going to be. And one, two, I'm a bad storyteller. So if you're new here, I'm a bad storyteller. I do have an auditory processing issue. That's why I sound like stupid. But so I don't know exactly how long this video is going to be, so that's why I have Minecraft on playing on here. I'm not a legit Minecraft player, so there's times where I went into creative mode to fly back to my house to reset my save point. But I just play for fun. I don't play for any speed running or any like competition shit like that. But anyway, that's not what the point of this video. The point of this video is to kind of briefly explain, well, not briefly. I go into full detail on what it's like being a road service agent. So, I will start by the application, interview, training, or orientation, training, transition, and then once I'm on the floor, which is the regular call center. So, I worked for Geico for, let's see, 10 months. Um, I started January 4th, 2021, this year, obviously. And I applied, I would say, sometime in December. Yeah, I applied sometime in December. I can't remember exactly what day I actually applied, and I don't remember what day my interview actually was. So the application is just a basic application, going through previous employment history, talking about yourself, stuff like that. Pretty basic, pretty simple, just a normal application. So the application was done. I got a call from I guess someone from HR. I can't remember. It was someone from HR. They said, "Hey, we would like, this is so and so from Geico. We would like to do an interview with you." Da 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 da. And the way their interview is, it's set up differently than most employers, I guess you could say. Um, they had me do three interviews all together. It was two interviews over the phone, and then one interview over like on this website. I can't remember the website name, but it was on this website. That's how the interview went. So she called me. She did a basic interview, talk about yourself, stuff like that, and then she called back a couple hours later to do another follow up interview, asking more, in depth questions, such as, like the first interview was like, tell me who you are, tell me about yourself, tell me about your previous employment stuff, yada, yada, yada. The second interview is like, okay, why do you want this job? What do you see yourself doing with this in this position? So on and so forth. Just more in depth of the actual work part is the second interview over the phone. So that got all set up and done. She told me the date for the third interview, the third and final interview, which is over webcam. So I was excited, I was happy, I got this job, more paying money, and I just fucking fell in a hole. I'm getting distracted because I have it up on my second monitor here. But so I was happy, I was excited, higher paying job. I used to work at McDonald's, well, I still worked at McDonald's at that point, but anyway, so the third interview day comes around, and a couple days before, I would say, they send you the actual link to what you're going to be interviewing on the actual website, and on that link it has a couple preview clips of calls that customers are calling in asking for emergency road service. So there's a couple calls so you can listen to it and be sure to either remember those calls on the preview calls on the website or jot down some notes, because in the interview they ask you questions about those calls. So you have to listen to them, take down notes, or make sure to remember them. I suggest taking down notes. That's what I did. But that's what they ask for. They ask in the third interview. They ask questions about those preview clips. And again, I do apologize if I'm rambling or if I get off track. But anyway, so I get back home to do after work to do my third interview, and I get I sit down, set up my laptop, stuff like that, and I click on the to join the meeting or whatever it's called, the website. It was weird. It was my first experience ever doing this. It was my first experience with a actual big company like Geico. I know McDonald's is big, but like a corporate big. So I was nervous, of course, as anyone would be. So I count in the comments how many times. I'll pin your comment if you count how many times I say. But I keep getting off track. The the third interview, like I said, I get everything set up. I click the link and I'm in there, and this guy comes on. He doesn't have his webcam on. I have my webcam on because you have to have your webcam on, and they let you check all that stuff before the interview actually goes down. So my webcam's on. He's just asking me a bunch of questions about myself. Then he gets into the, what do you remember? This is exactly how he said. What do you remember about the preview clips that you've seen on the website? So I had my notes down. So I said, oh, this lady needed a jump start. This lady needed a battery installation and delivery. Or this guy needed a battery installation and delivery. I remember that. Just stuff like that. And so he just basically asked you the same questions as the first and second over the phone interview. Just about yourself. Where do you see yourself in this company in 5 years? So just the basic interview questions. But the biggest thing, like I said, that stands out is those preview clips. Make sure you listen to those preview clips and jot down some notes because they will ask you. So at the end of the interview, he says he likes me. He likes my perseverance, my attitude, yada yada yada. I'm a charmer. I could put it on when I need be. No, I'm a nice guy. So he likes me. He said I'm hired. He said I'm the perfect fit for the job. So I'm like, perfect. So I get the job. That day stood out to me a lot. I'm not going to get into that exact day. I can't remember what the exact day was of that interview, but that day stands out for personal reasons. So I get the job. I'm happy. Good to go. January 4th comes around, and I go to the actual office to pick up my equipment. So that'd be technically your first day is to pick up your equipment. So when you go there, obviously you won't have a badge, you won't have anything yet. So the way I got into the building was I followed somebody in because it was at like 7 o'clock in the morning, so there was a lot of people coming in for the 7 to 3:45 shift. So I just scooted myself right in. So when I got there, I had to do the COVID checklist because that was when obviously COVID's going on, so you're required to wear a mask. You were required at one point to do a actual COVID checklist every morning, which was actually found on Workday, the website that the associates use. So I go in, do the COVID checklist. Am I sick? Bullshit like that. And then me and the other people that were scheduled for that day, we stand against the wall and we hand our license or your ID and a social security card. I didn't have my social security card on hand because I didn't think I needed it. Big mistake. So it wasn't a big deal. I just had to run home real quick and then bring it back. Not that big of a deal. It's a pretty decent far drive. I'm not exactly going to say where or how far of a drive it is. Obviously, you could just Google the office in Georgia. But yeah, it was just quick back and forth. So they take my ID. She goes to the back. I guess they scan it for records, and then they have us sit at our assigned computers because they have it was in the cafeteria, and there was desks with computers and all the equipment. So I find my name on my computer and my what's called a U code. It's your It's your code pretty much you have an associate number and then a U code. Your U code is pretty much to sign into the computer and to get everything set up and going. Your associate number is just your number. That's what you're given, your number. I sit down on my computer and the my trainer comes up, and I didn't know it was my trainer at the time, but a trainer comes up and asks, "Hey, what are you here for? Are you emergency road service or are you salvage?" So there was like half of like I would say like 85% of us were emergency road service, and then the other like 15% were I think I did math wrong there, but I can't think right now. The other was salvage for the salvage department. So they just take us through how to set up our computers. We go through that whole ordeal. We set up our computers, then we go get our badges, and then we go home because we were still doing. I don't. And just also a disclaimer: I don't know if this is the same way. That I'm just telling my experience. When COVID was still a big thing, well, it's still a big thing now, but when COVID was like really big in the office, we did everything from home pretty much. So I go home, set up all my equipment at home, get everything good to go, and then I jump back on WebEx, is what it's called, to do meetings and stuff like that. They give us, documents you have to fill out, stuff like that on the actual on Workday. So you have to fill out a bunch of documents, tax forms, all that stuff that you have to fill out for pretty much every job. Tax forms, you have to agree to certain stuff. You have to watch some videos and agree, all that stuff. So I get that all taken care of, and that was the end of the day. So it lasted from like 7 to 3, 7 to 4, something like that, somewhere around those lines. And then the next day, so that's my first day. January 4th was my first day, and this is where my dumbass sets my respawn at in this village when, my house is where I'm supposed to be respawning at. But anyway, so the first day, January 4th was my first day. January 5th was what's considered Geico 101, where they pretty much go through policies, procedures. They introduce yourself, yada yada yada. But pretty much Geico 101, the orientation of Geico, which is called Geico 101. They go through their own bank. Geico has their own bank for associates. They go through just different things in the office that you can take advantage of, a gym, a cafeteria, which was all closed down when I started working. So Geico 101 lasts from 8 to 4. Pretty simple. You just sit at your desk. I was at home still for Geico 101. So I sat at my desk, just did all that stuff. You get breaks and all that shit. So that was easy. Said and done, Geico 101 over. So that's when training started. And this is where I'm going to kind of go back a little bit to the interview. So the interviewer told me that the training was going to be done all through at home. You're going to be at home during training, and that was it. And he said I was supposed to be working from home for training, but I wasn't. I was in the office for training, which didn't bother me. Don't get me wrong. It didn't bother me at all. I could care less whether I was in the office or out of the office. I felt pretty actually badass. Hey, I'm working at an office. I'm a big boy. I got a big boy job now. Stuff like that. Mind you, I came from working at McDonald's. So anyway, so training commences. You have 2 trainers and a coach. So your 2 trainers guide you through what you're going to be doing. They teach you all the stuff that you need to know to take a call. They teach you about providers. They teach you about cash calls. And I'm not going to get into every little nook and cranny because that's not my job. But about cash calls and towing services and how to do the actual performance or perform the actual tasks to get people a tow truck. They teach you about Aspect. You go, not Aspect. Fucking Aspect. Oh my god, I can't even remember the name of the... Oh my god. Like, I can't remember the name of the actual website that we used to... What the hell? Hold on, I'm having a brain fart here. Give me a second. Okay, so I remember what it was now. It's called Atlas. Atlas is how you pull up people's policies and all that stuff, and they actually have a training. Uh, uh, Atlas. I almost forgot the name again. They have a training Atlas. When you're in training, so it's all fake people, stuff like that. So they teach you everything you need to know about Atlas. Oh my god, I keep almost forgetting the name. They teach you everything you need to know about Atlas, like how to search people up, how to get providers, how to find people where they're broke down, because if there's a lot of people that don't know exactly where they're broke down. So how to find people, mapping, all that stuff. They teach you the whole nine, and training lasts for four weeks. Training lasts for 4 weeks. So during those 4 weeks, you get 3 weeks to learn everything, and then you have 5 quizzes within those 3 weeks. Usually one or two quizzes a week. So you have 5 quizzes. You need to pass them in order to move on to transition. I think you need to get above a 70. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I think it's above a 70. So you have to you have to score good on all those quizzes. I scored hundreds because they're easy. They literally go over the questions before you take the test. And like I said, this is my personal experience. It might be different for you if you're going into the job. It might be different, but this is just me. So during those 4 weeks, 3 weeks you're training, and then 1 week is supposed to be phone week, where you're actually taking calls on the phone with the 2 trainers and the coach there over your shoulder, helping you through it. We didn't have that because our phone systems wouldn't go in. I guess technically, I don't know exactly what the problem was. But our phone systems, they wouldn't connect for some reason. I'm not too sure why. So we only had like 1 day of phone week. So training was over. You get God, I can't speak. You get a certificate of completion. It says your name, emergency road service, certified, stuff like that. So that was training. Training's over. Get your nice little pretty certificate. And usually there's they throw a little party, stuff like that. Since COVID happened, we couldn't really party. We just had pizza, which was fine by me. I was hungry. So that was training. Now transition is a little more hands-on, I would say. Transition, you have. There was three people, like 3 coaches in my transition team, and you're with multiple other people. You're not just by yourself. There's other people that applied and got the job and going through the same thing as you are. So it's like a class. So there's three trainers, 2 coaches, and 1 supervisor. So you're selected on whose team you're going to be on out of the 2 coaches. So say Coach A is Chris and Coach B is Samantha. So there's half the team is on Chris's team, and then half the team is on Samantha's team. So you're split up into 2 separate teams. And you're given a coach. And when you're taking calls, the coaches will monitor your calls. So you're taking a normal fuel delivery call. Call's going good, call's going great. Your coach is listening, and there's no way you can tell when the coach is listening. So always be sure to perform your best. And if you don't know what to do or you're stuck, the coaches are there. You can just message them through WebEx, and they'll be there for you to assist you. I had the blessing of having amazing trainers and amazing coaches. So during your 6 weeks is what transition is. Transition is 6 weeks. During your 6 weeks, you're graded not only by your coach, but you're also graded by a team called the PMT, which is, I think, Professional Monitoring Team. I think that's the acronym or abbreviation for it, is PMT. PMT pretty much monitors everybody's calls throughout the whole office, which I wanted to do at one point, but that ain't gonna happen. So they monitor everyone's calls throughout the office on your and give you a grade. Now, this grade, this confuses me. The grade confuses me a little bit. So you're graded not only on how well the call did and how satisfied the customer was, but you're also graded on the way you handle the call, your call handling. So you're graded on how long the call was. You're graded on your holds, like when you place the customer on hold. They're graded on a bunch of stuff, and it always confused me. With the grading system, it still to this day confused the hell out of me. So just be aware of that. So once your coach finishes monitoring your call, she or he will pull you into a meeting and discuss what went wrong, what you need to improve on, things you did really good on. So they usually start off with what you did really good on, and then gradually go to, hey, this could be better, and this could be better. So you need above a 3 average to advance to the floor, to pass transition and go to the floor. There was another thing with transition. My whole experience with training and transition is going to be a lot different than yours. A lot different. Because my training and transition team was, I think, the first team, I wouldn't say the first team, but a team where COVID was still, pretty rapid. So there was a lot of confusion. People were coming back to the office slowly and then going back home because people were still working from home. So it's back home, back to the office, back home. So there was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of problems with getting the scores and getting our grades and stuff like that. So we finish off transition, 6 weeks is over, and we're given our scores. And of course, I got a 3 point something when I was actually at a fucking 4 point something, and it goes out of 5. It's from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. So it's, from 1 to 5. I got a 3 point something, so I barely fucking passed, which was BS in my opinion, because I was at like steady at like a 4.98, like a couple days prior, then all of a sudden, boom, it's down to 3, barely passing. But whatever, I passed transition. So, the last couple days of transition is when you actually get an email sent to you about your shift bids. And what shift bids are they are how you, what you bid on what shift you want. So you're given 11, I was given 11 shifts, 11 options to choose from. And you have to number them 1 through 11, 1 being the one you absolutely want, and 11 being the one you absolutely do not want. And the hours you get are based off of the scores that you got. So I got a 3 point something, so I got my 4th pick, which was 4 to 12:15. Now I'm going to go back again to my interview, where the interviewer told me that I would be working it was 9 to 5. I would be working 9 to 5 with rotating weekends. The shift bid I got was 4 to 12:15, Tuesday through Saturday. So I don't know if there was some miscommunication. Obviously, with pretty much any job, your availability can change on a dime without you even knowing, or without explanation. It could just change on a dime. They said it was in the new hire paperwork that I got, or the email that I was sent, which I still have. No, I don't have the paperwork anymore. But it wasn't in the email, but whatever. So I was a little upset with that I got the 4 to 12:15. There was a lot of people in my team that were very upset because they were all told the same thing. You'd be working 9 to 5 with rotating weekends. I wasn't upset because I didn't have a child. I didn't have a life, really. So I didn't really care. It was whatever. So transition was over. Past transition, got my new schedule, and went the next day because it was on a Friday, and Saturday was the day that I officially started working. I can't remember exactly what day. It was on a Saturday, which sucked. Absolutely sucked. My first day on the floor was trash. I got this lady threatened to call the cops on me, called me every name under the book, threatened to call the cops on me because she had a problem with her policy that I couldn't figure out because I wasn't trained on how to actually work on a Saturday. You see, Saturdays, supervisors are on help desk. So when you have a problem, you can't reach out to your supervisor, your direct supervisor. You have to reach out to a help desk. I didn't know that, and no one ever told me that. So I was trying to reach out for help, and luckily my supervisor was actually there that day. And he gave me a little bit of help. He gave me a little bit of guidance that day because I was frustrated. But anyway, so that was Saturday. Um, and then come Tuesday when I started working, that's when I met the whole team, my whole floor team. So transition is over. Now we're on to the floor. So Tuesday, I meet my team. I meet my supervisor. I actually had two supervisors. Love them. They were amazing people. Helped me through every step of the way. I had a little bit of health problems going on. They helped me every step through the way. Absolutely loved them. They were amazing, amazing supervisors. I'm not going to obviously say their names, but they were amazing supervisors. They definitely kept me there longer than I wanted to. But they were amazing. I love them. They were absolutely 100% genuine, 100% willing to work with you, helping me out nonstop. And that was the best thing about Geico, in my opinion, was the help that I received. I received a ton of help. So anyway, so the floor, I got on there maybe sometime in early March, late February, early March, all the way up until October. So the floor, like I said, is pretty much where you sit on the actual call center floor. Because when you're in transition, when you're in training, you're up in like a classroom, like upstairs somewhere in the office. And then transition, you're in kind of like a secluded area where you can all kind of sit together. And then on the floor, you're in the whole group. You're in the whole huge room where all the desks are and monitors and all that stuff. So the floor is pretty much, I don't even know how to really explain it. It's basic. It's just doing your job. That's it. You're still being monitored by PMT. You're still being monitored by your supervisors, but it's a lot less lax. So there's not someone constantly coddling you, pretty much. So you're pretty much on your own. And if you need help, you can, like I said, request, ask for your supervisor's help on WebEx itself. So the floor, like I said, was basic, taking calls, stuff like that. And that's pretty much what led me up to October. And then that was it. I officially quit. Unfortunately, I didn't get my 2-week notice because I was completely done with Geico. So now I'll kind of explain my personal experience on why I kind of left. So at the start, I thought, I was going to be in it for the long haul. I was getting paid good. You get paid $15 starting out, and then you get paid $16.50 once you're on the floor. And like I said, this could change. So I was getting good money. There was benefits. I didn't need benefits because I am on my mom's plan because she does work for the state. So I didn't need any benefits, anything like that. So I was more money in my pocket. And there was just a bunch of stuff, that was amazing. It was awesome. I was able to buy my dream car with the money. So it was amazing. I loved it. And I thought I was going to be able to stick with it for the long haul. I thought I was going to be able to move up. I thought I was going to be able to, do a bunch of things, move up in the, at first I wanted to be a trainer, and then I wanted to be PMT, and then I wanted to be zone representative, which is who deals with the person who deals with the providers in a certain area. So like one person has Georgia and South Carolina, the other person has like New Jersey, New York, all that stuff. But after a while, I was burnt out. I was completely burnt out. Working in an office isn't for me. And I kind of knew that going into Geico, and I knew office jobs weren't for me. They could be good if they're good. If you like an office job, this is the job for you. If you like being on the phone all day, this is the job for you. And I suggest it highly. But for people like me who don't like sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, don't like taking calls nonstop, don't like being on the phone nonstop, it's not for you. Because this job involves a lot of being on the phone. You're constantly taking calls, and 9 times out of 10, back to back to back without any breaks. So it's constant go 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 go, which is a good thing, but being on the phone for so long is just not. It's just not my cup of tea. And sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day is just not my thing. It's just not my thing. So I got really burnt out with that. Um, I wouldn't say Geico did anything wrong. At no point in me leaving Geico was it ever Geico's fault. And I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to put anyone's a sour taste in anybody's mouth. Geico did nothing to me. Geico, they took me in, they took good care of me, just paid me well, all that stuff. The supervisor's extremely nice, so Geico did nothing to me. It's just I didn't want to continue on with Geico anymore because I was mentally burnt out. I was sitting at felt like a dead end job to me, and I just wanted to leave. I never wanted. I just always wanted to go. And then I got sick, and then that was a whole to do. Like for like a month, I was constantly up and down with being sick. I didn't have COVID, but it was just constantly sick and shit like that. And no one knew what the hell was wrong with me. I was constantly sick. I don't know if it was stress, anxiety, just the want to not do that job anymore. There was two good things that came out of Geico. One being I met my lovely girlfriend at Geico because she also worked as in the emergency road service department along with me. Met her, and we're going good for about 5 months now. It'll be 5 months on the 31st of October. So on Sunday when I'm recording this. And the second one was I got my dream car. And I was able to, get my dream car. I was able to get a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to get on a McDonald's salary. I got a brand new gaming PC. I got a brand new car. What else I get? I got a brand new VR headset. There was so much stuff that I could get now, that I was making more money with Geico, that I'm really grateful for. And I'm honestly overall grateful for Geico. Oh, and the third thing, actually, there's three things that I'm actually grateful for. I don't have any more phone anxiety. Before going into Geico, I had a lot of phone anxiety. I didn't like talking on the phone. I always got nervous when I talked on the phone. Now I can pick up the phone and call whoever, and it doesn't bother me anymore, which is just amazing. Because being on the phone 24/7, that phone anxiety kind of goes away when you're forced to do it. So, and that's how it was with me when I first got my job in New Jersey at McDonald's. I was nervous, I was shy, and then I broke that shell, and then Geico broke the phone anxiety away from me. So that's three things I was eternally grateful for Geico. So this brings me to today. I actually got a brand new job at Sam's Club. I am a merchandiser. I go for my orientation on Tuesday. So I'm very happy with that. I get to do something I actually, really enjoy, and that's, stocking and being on my feet, constantly moving 24/7. Like me, I need to constantly be moving. But that's pretty much it. That's my experience with Geico. I'm sure I missed a couple things. I'm not too sure if there's any other videos on YouTube talking about the stuff I'm talking about. Um, but I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure I missed a couple things. And if you have any further questions, feel free to comment down below. And I'll try my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please drop that like. Like I said, Geico wasn't for me. Doesn't mean it's not for you. It just wasn't for me. But I'll catch you guys later. Peace.